start yet?
Yeah.
Oh. Hey guys, welcome to Ron and Roger's Dr. Pepper. Today we'll be discussing and reviewing Silent Night, Deadly Night, which is my favorite Christmas movie. I have waited 1 year to rewatch this film. Like I really wanted to rewatch it again, but I didn't want to watch a Christmas movie in summer. So I was so excited to rewatch it finally after so long, and I freaking love this film to death. Ron, what did you think of this film?
Overall, I thought, I actually liked the first half a lot more than, the second half.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I thought...
Like the first segment, like the really young, like the young boy or something?
Like the first 45 minutes of it I thought were really good because it shows you all the things that are setting him up to break and turn to the killer. Like, you know, it starts off, he goes and he sees his grandfather who's like maybe faking it, maybe actually insane, I can't really tell, who tells him that Santa Claus is going to punish him. And then,
that's his grandpa.
Yeah, and then Santa Claus like kills his parents, attempts to rape his mom, and then he gets sent to an orphanage where the nun punishes him all the time, and then the nun tells him that sex is bad and like anyone who does that is like deserves to be punished or whatever, and then
that's like devil stuff.
Yeah, and then it's like everything keeps piling onto him, and you can kind of see him start to break as a person. I thought that part was really well done. The second half
definitely has some motivations to actually kill everyone.
Yeah, it's one of the best motivations probably I've ever seen in a horror movie, because usually it's just like, you know, this guy is crazy and he wants to kill people, you know. But this one, it was like the guy, he actually...
Like the best motivation in horror film is from the Skeleton Man. He just chases people because
yeah.
Because of the house.
Plus, he can break the fourth wall. He knows that he's not going to succeed, but he does it anyway, you know. And he has an extreme talent for rolling down hills.
Why did you like the first half more than the last half? Like I was like, oh yes, finally Billy as the Santa. I actually really like that part, especially because he doesn't have the beard fully, like completely over his mouth and stuff. That makes it a little more iconic and less forgettable, because it actually looks really cool. Like, and there was not really a horror movie where it's Santa Claus is the killer, but it's just the guy dressed up as Santa Claus, not Santa Claus for real.
Well, the main reason I didn't like it was because more than anything else in movies, I try to pay attention to like the plot and continuity, and you know, what's his reason for killing? It's, you know, he doesn't like Santa, he's freaked out at Santa, it's people being naughty, you know, and he's also a regular guy. Like, he's not Jason Voorhees, he doesn't have super strength or anything like that. This is just a regular guy, and I can understand, but he is muscular, so I can understand that. But he kills the first the girl he liked, and then the guy who was trying to rape her, and I that was, to me, I thought, where the movie started for me to not be as good, because those two made sense. You know, he killed the guy because he was being naughty, and he, in his twisted version, he thought the woman was also being naughty, but then he kills the other guy kind of for no reason. I mean, like, the guy wasn't Santa, the guy wasn't... Oh, I just got a text message, I'm going to mute that. But the guy wasn't, to me, didn't seem to be doing anything that would make him, like, say, you deserve to be punished. And, I mean, later on, with the girl in the house, he doesn't punish her for some reason. You know, he just gives her a switchblade, and she's like, what the fuck? Yeah, there was that, and then there's also, like, I get how he heads back to the orphanage, but I don't know how he'd like, just, oh, hey, there's a house over here, let me go break down the door, impale a woman on a deer antlers, and then throw this guy out the window. I did enjoy the I thought the effects were good. I thought all the acting was good. I didn't honestly understand why there was as much sex as there were, as there was. It's the some of his killings just seemed to not make sense. And at the end, when they set up for the sequel, I thought that part was kind of rushed because I felt like it kind of betrayed um, this movie in the way that they took 45 minutes to set up him as the killer, and I thought that part was really good. It wasn't like they were rushing it, and then at the end, you know, the kid gets shot. I mean, the guy gets shot, and then the kid starts saying naughty like he's gonna become a killer, and it seems like they didn't put as much effort into it as they did with Billy.
But do you even know who the lost kid was who said naughty?
Oh, actually, never mind. That was his younger brother, right? Wait, was that?
Yeah, it was.
Okay, then I actually take that part back because I did not think of that part.
Yeah, you'll see more about it in part 2, which is, by the way, terrible. It's so terrible that it's good. For the last 45 minutes, because Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2 is basically Part 1, but there's just someone retelling the whole story and stuff, and after 45 minutes, just talking what happens in the first movie, then his story starts. So it really takes so long to actually get to the new story because it's basically just part 1.
Yeah.
Re-edit it and terrible actors just talking about it. But it's kind of fun, especially if you have I watched him. I immediately after I finished the part 1, I watched part 2. So it was really boring because I just saw the same movie.
Yeah.
Just with someone talking about it. But did you know this movie caused a lot of controversy from parents and stuff?
Probably because of all the stuff in it.
Yeah, it was one of the first movies that actually had Santa Claus killing. But the marketing for this film was really big or something. There were commercials on TV. All the kids were seeing this stuff, so everyone was getting some kids were getting scared of Santa. So a lot of parents actually got mad at the producers and the directors and stuff for this movie.
Yeah, I could understand that.
I think it's actually pretty weird because Tales from the Crypt, one of my favorite movies, it's from 1972, and it's an anthology film, and one of these segments in the film actually features Santa killing, murdering someone, or there was this movie called You Better Watch Out, that also had Santa killing people, or You Better Watch Out is also known as Christmas Evil. So it's really weird why this movie got so much controversy and not the other films, because they basically featured Santa killing as well.
Yeah, I can definitely understand the outrage if a kid goes, "Look, Mom, it's Santa," and then you see him put an axe through a guy.
Yeah, exactly, because the trailer starts out fine, you're Silent Night, Holy Night, that song in the background, and then there's this a very deep voice saying it was the night before Christmas, when all through the house not a creature was staring, not even a mouse, and then Santa grabs his axe, and then it just goes berserk.
Yeah, that would probably scare some children, maybe even some parents.
Yeah, I know. But the movie opened on the same weekend as Nightmare on Elm Street, and it actually outgrossed Nightmare on Elm Street in a weekend until after 1 week, Silent Night, Deadly Night was taken out of theaters because of all the controversy with parents and stuff. It's pretty insane. I mean, Nightmare on Elm Street is one of the best horror movies ever made, considered by a lot of people, and it was actually outgrossed for a brief moment by Silent Night, Deadly Night, which is basically a almost forgotten B/slash film.
Yeah, before you had mentioned this movie, I'd never heard of it. So it's interesting you say that because I'm imagining if the controversy wasn't there, there might have been, like 9 of these instead of all the Freddy Krueger films.
Exactly. There are actually
4, I
a
think.
lot of Silent Night Deadly Night sequels, but they are so low budget. Like they're like I mean, you already can imagine how low the budget is when I tell you that like 45 minutes in Silent Night Deadly Night Part 2.
It's like the movie hasn't even started yet.
Random dude.
You're halfway into the movie and you're still watching a different movie.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that make it more like Silent Night, Deadly Night 1.5?
Yeah, there are 5 Silent Night Deadly Night sequels, and there's 1 remake. And I heard the remake was actually pretty good. Like some consider it being better than the first, like the original. But I really like the actor who plays Billy in the end. I don't know, but sometimes there are these actors that are not top-notch actors. For some reason, there's just something about the way they act or something like that that makes you really like the character and stuff. So I really thought he did a really good job as the Santa killer. Especially, I really said that. That I really like that the beard is not all over his mouth, so you can still see his face, because it is a story about Billy and not about Santa Claus.
Yeah. I definitely, I enjoyed all the acting. I thought everyone did a good job at it.
It's decent acting. When you really when you look at slashers and acting, they're usually not that.
Yeah.
It's usually not that good, but Silent Night Deadly Night is actually fine.
If I could change one thing about this movie, it would probably be how the second half of the story plays out. I'd like to see him have sort of more of an MO as a killer than just kind of like a random, just terrorize everyone. Because the whole half of the movie, it was setting it up, that like showing you things that he's like, it's breaking his mind kind of. And then I remember about 45 minutes in, you can look at his face and it's like he's going through all this reliving all the trauma as he's seeing the girl he likes with the guy. And then you could see his facial expression just change. And I was like, oh shit, he just snapped, And I thought that was a really great part because, like I said, because they didn't rush it and they took their time with it. And that, to me, worked out really well. And it was almost like they just kind of made a great painting and then, like, took a dump on it with the second half. That's my take on it. Just because he just goes out and kills everyone. I would have liked to see, somehow the 2 other drunk workers there maybe pass out or him just, like, shove them. And then instead of bashing down a random woman's door, have him like be walking by and hear her and the guy like having sex or something, and then go kill them. I think that would work out a lot better, and I would have probably enjoyed the movie a lot more if it was like that.
Yeah, it's true, but yeah, maybe he just went crazy and just like didn't really give a shit anymore. And maybe that's just his motive. Maybe you should just look at the movie that way. Like, yeah, first of all, it's just punishment, and then it's like, screw it, I'm just gonna kill everyone. I think that's his motive. Pretty good motive, though.
That's what I wanted it to do, but then there's a scene where there's the little girl, and if he goes like batshit crazy, I was like, are they seriously gonna have him kill a child in this? When he's getting out the switchblade, and then he doesn't because she hasn't been naughty, which, like makes me think, that he's still in that mindset. But it did have a bunch of funny scenes for the that I thought were some pretty wacky, but really entertaining scenes in it. That like when he just hands her the switchblade, and she's so confused. Like instead of a doll or whatever, it's like, here, it's a bloody knife,
I especially like the scene with like the other Santa Claus robbing the store when he was a little kid.
Yeah.
And and the guy's like, Merry fucking Christmas.
And then he just drives off on the tire wheel. And he gets like $31.
And there's also the song in this movie. It's called Santa's Watching or something, and it's this really cheesy Christmas song. But it's actually made just for this movie. I thought that was actually like a real Christmas song or something. Like I don't listen to Christmas music that much because it's kind of catchy and annoying sometimes. Yeah. But I actually thought this was a real Christmas song, but it was just designed or like made for this movie. Like, do you know what song I'm talking about? You hear it on the radios, in the cars and everything all the time.
Yeah, when it's like, and it's detail, it's in the background, kind of showing him like setting up for kill. I think I did like the music, but of course, there's also part of the '80s part of blasting the music on a jump scare. Like at the end when his little brother says naughty naughty, and I was like, I gotta turn down the volume, you know, because I for anyone who doesn't know, I was watching this movie at about 5:30 in the morning, and my mom was sleeping in the other room. I had stayed up all night, so I was like, I gotta really turn this down, because it goes from a quiet scene to just it's like just slam down the piano keys. But I did think,
really
aside from that,
soundtrack is really intense.
Yeah, I thought the soundtrack was pretty well done. I liked the music. I thought it worked pretty well. It wasn't like you couldn't pay attention to what was going on, because the music worked well with the scenes.
What's that? I didn't catch that.
I thought the music worked well with the scenes. I didn't feel like there were any parts where it, you know, overshadowed or messed with it.
There's one scene where he starts working at the toy store.
Yeah.
And there's just like it turns into a soap opera or something.
I know. That
you just get a shot from his shoes and it just goes up slowly, and then you see him smiling, and you just get this cheesy ass music.
It's probably the most '80s part of the movie. I think
they get like a montage of everyone working there with like some fucking song, like
it was almost
on the side of the door or something like that.
It almost felt like an employee training video, like a really crappy made one. But yeah, I think one of the things that made this movie better to me, in addition to some of the great storytelling at the beginning, was how, you know, there are these little wacky, bizarre, funny moments just kind of sprinkled in here and there. I thought they really brought the movie up.
Yeah, me too. Did you know that Sam Raimi was also considered to direct the film?
I could believe that. I mean, he has he did a lot of work with horrors, but I'm kind of glad that he didn't direct this, just because I thought it came out well.
Yeah, me too. And also, if Sam Raimi directed this, like, his career would probably be ended, just like
we wouldn't
like
have Spider-Man either.
Never made Spider-Man, so it would be like, oh, but you directed Silent Night Deadly. I never fucking hated that film because it's Santa Claus killing, and that's really bad.
And of course, if he directed it, you know, Bruce Campbell would be the convenience owner at the beginning who gets shot. Bruce Campbell he'd either be the convenience owner who gets shot, he'd be a guy who walks into the store after he kills everyone. It would be something with that. You would not miss Bruce Campbell.
Yeah, exactly.
You might even have Ted Raimi as one of the cops.
What was that?
You might even have Ted Raimi as one of the cops if Sam directed this.
Yeah. But like, what do you think of like the death scene for Billy?
For Billy, I thought it was well acted, but I also was kind of disappointed because more than any other character, I thought the one he should have killed was that nun, and it was just kind of like, if you're gonna kill one person, kill her, you know. And that I was kind of disappointed that he didn't kill her at the end. What about
Yeah,
you?
I actually wish like that the ending was a little bit different. Like Billy just gets shot. Really, that's just too
Yeah,
simple of a kill for the killer. Like come on, Michael Myers gets shot 4 times and doesn't even die. Like I don't want that supernatural shit in Silent Night, Deadly Night. I'm not saying that, but
yeah.
like 3 shots in his back and then you just say
He just
something like,
falls over. It's kind of underwhelming for a death scene. I would have liked to see something kind of more dramatic with it. You know, have it like the fight scene between him and the other guy. I enjoyed, but I also there's the part where the guy hits him with the thing from the fireplace, whatever metal pokey stick thingy, and he's like, "All right, I got him. I threw him over a ledge. Now it's time to turn my back to him and call the police in slow motion, you know." And then he gets thrown down.
yeah,
That part kind of annoyed me because I just hate when characters don't have common sense. I mean, it's funny in comedies, but in like horrors and slashers, it just kind of makes me just like cringe at it.
but yeah, that's like really my only complaint with Silent Night, Deadly Night. Like I wish the ending was a little bit different. But really, I don't care too much. Like it's a bit anticlimactic. Like except for the scene like Naughty when Ricky says that, that's pretty cool. But as you said, it's kind of rushed as well because like the first time I watched it, I didn't even know it was Ricky. I just thought it
Yeah.
was some random kid. Um,
I mean, it could have
but
taken like
yeah,
5 seconds just to throw in a line where he says, "Be a good boy, Ricky," you know, or something like that.
yeah. I also really like the scene where Billy has to sit on Santa's lap
Oh
and he
yeah.
just punches the guy off the chair, and the Santa's like,
What the
"What the
hell is
hell's
wrong with
wrong
that
with
kid?
that kid?"
So overall, what would you give this movie out of 10?
Honestly, like a 9.5 out of 10. Like I absolutely love this movie to death. It's probably in my top 20 favorite movies of all time, and it's definitely my favorite Christmas movie of all time. Like I already can't wait to watch it again next year with Christmas.
I would
And what about you?
I would probably I think this is the widest gap we've ever had between our scores. I would honestly give this probably either a 6 or 6.5. I absolutely loved the first half of the movie. I thought it was like perfect. But then, like I said, where he kind of breaks his MO, that kind of ruined part of it for me. And then just kind of the way things played out, where he kills random people and he goes into this house when he would have no knowledge of that, and then the guy being stupid, where he just throws him over the balcony and turns, gives him his back. And then there's
But
also
he
the
does kind of acknowledge of it when he goes into the house because she's naked.
well, I get that, but I mean, if it showed him walking by, I would have been okay with that. But it's just like he kind of comes out of nowhere. And it's like, here's Johnny, you know, and it kind of gives me this, because I enjoyed the first half because this wasn't Michael Myers, this wasn't Jason Voorhees, this was a normal guy who just goes berserk and wants to kill people, you know. And I really enjoyed, like, this is a human guy. This isn't someone with superpowers. This isn't a demon. This isn't, you know, someone who's been resurrected. And I really enjoyed that. But if there was just a shot where, you know, he sees her as he's walking and then he like grabs the axe, I would have been okay with that. But just the kind of not seeing him ruined that aspect a little bit for me. And Also, the fight scene I didn't enjoy. I thought the first half of that was good. And then the guy just has no common sense. Like, to me, if I'm in my home and this dude dressed as Santa Claus with a giant fucking axe comes and starts swinging at me, and I manage to, to fend him off, I'm not gonna just say, "Oh, 911, hello, can I have the cops?" I'm not gonna be like that. I would be like looking back and forth. I'd like throw shit at him. I would make sure he's down before I do anything else. Um, but I thought, once again, even though the second half didn't really work out for me, I thought the first half was amazingly done. I would actually rate that like 10 out of 10, just the first half, because it's so perfect. And I thought that there were a lot of funny moments in it.
This was probably the most scary movie for me to watch this year. For the second time, not because it's scary. I'm not scared for any horror movie by now. But I was so afraid that my expectations were too high, because of course I hadn't watched it in 1 year. And I was just thinking about this movie like every single month, like at least 2 times, and about how amazing I thought it was. So I was kind of thinking maybe my expectations are a little too high now, and maybe I won't like it as much anymore, and it won't be in my favorite movie list anymore. But it definitely is. It actually it even I thought it was better than last year.
Yeah, like if if the whole movie was like the first half, I would undoubtedly give this movie 10 out of 10. But yeah, like the way they set him up as a killer to me was just perfect. I don't think there was like anything wrong with that. I thought that having the cheesy montage where he's like, hey, I'm working here, and all the happy music over it. I thought that actually added to it, because it was like, he thinks he's in a safe place now. He's okay. He's past this, and it's like Santa's back, and you can see all the trauma coming back to him. But yeah, if the whole movie was like the first half, I would definitely rate this 10 out of 10.
Yeah, but like, is like the last part so bad that from a 10 it goes to 6.5?
I mean, honestly, it actually, I have like kind of pet peeves where I just, inconsistencies in scripts I just hate. Like, with Purge, the first Purge, that to me was, the visual effects in that and the acting, and the music choices were all awesome and great to me, but it was just that the script was so bad that I actually had a headache when I was done watching it, because I was so infuriated with some of the things in it. I just, the reason I give this a 6.5 is because the first half, I guess, set the bar for me so high that when he broke his MO, it was kind of like, it was kind of like, to me, if the script was written by 2 different people who didn't read the other person's work. Like, the first half, it sets him up awesome, and he's this great killer, with a great reason. There's all this trauma that happened to him. There's everything that, his parents died by a killer, and then he saw his father get shot. The Santa tried to rape his mother and then slit her throat, and then he gets beaten like constantly every day for something he can't control. He gets told sex is bad and that anyone who does it is like horrible, and then he sees the girl that he really liked. He thinks that she's having sex, but she's actually being attempted to be raped. But I thought that was such a great setup, because it kind of gave you insight as to how his psyche was just falling apart. And then he just goes out and kind of kills. Stop, Fangs. That's my dog. But he just kind of goes out, and when he killed the 2 other store owners, that kind of messed up the movie for me. But I basically, the reason I give this a 6.5 instead of a higher score is just because the first half was so awesome to me that I kind of felt like let down by the second half.
Yeah, maybe is this like a movie you watch yearly on Christmas?
I might. I mean, for anyone who hasn't seen it, this is definitely not a family movie. I can't stress that enough. I mean, you don't want to watch this like with grandma. Um, but yeah, I wouldn't be against seeing this annually.
Yeah, I definitely am gonna watch this every single year because yeah, I really enjoy it. I think there's some amazing kills in it. The I really like the the first half of it, but also the second half. Unlike you, um, so yeah, it's one of my favorite movies of all time, and I'd also be interested in getting the soundtrack because I haven't even told you this, but I recently started collecting vinyls, so
Oh,
I'd
nice.
definitely be interested in getting the vinyl for this movie.
Yeah, I did think they did a great job with the soundtrack. I thought like it wasn't it wasn't like silent, where it's just him walking, and it also wasn't where you couldn't pay attention to anything other than the music, except for the one spot at the end, because where that kind of blasts. But I get that because it's kind of for a jump scare.
Yeah.
Um, but everything else throughout the movie, I thought the music was pretty well, pretty well done.
Do you have anything else to say about Silent Night, Deadly Night?
Um, I guess the only thing I would say is I wish that more horror killers were set up this well. Um, Watching the first half, honestly, I'm kind of afraid to watch any other horrors just because I feel like it'll be a disappointment at how good the the setup for this was.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch part 3 and 4 and 5 and the remake. Um, we probably are not going to do a podcast for that, for all those, but maybe next year we can do part 2, and then if even our channel still exists, and
Oh well,
we
mine
can
I
maybe
am gonna
do
end mine.
a new car.
Yeah,
We'll see how that goes.
I am gonna end my
And
channel at the
I
end of
also
March.
really, it would be cool to see like sort of a reboot, um, or something like that, like a sequel to the remake maybe.
Yeah,
But something like a new Silent Night definitely.
I mean if there was a remake of this and they redid the second half, I would love to watch that. I think with a better second half, that could definitely be on my top 5 or top 10 movies of all time.
Yeah. All right. That's actually really cool. I actually really enjoy. You like at least the first part.
Yeah, this is kind of like a movie where um, I honestly uh, might have wanted to. I kind of wish I could just remember like the first half because it was so good of a movie to me. Um, but I mean, no movie is really perfect. Like, and I think I just wish if there was one lesson that people who see this, that directors who see this movie could take away, it would just be how well they set up the killer. I thought that, you know, like I said, I think I said this like 4 times, but just the way they show you the trauma. It's not like I'm a crazy guy, I'm gonna kill you all. It's he actually has a reason behind the killing, and he's this really troubled guy, and I think that was done really well. Do you have any final thoughts about the movie?
Yeah, I really like the film. It's my favorite Christmas film. Like I said 3 times already in this podcast. Um, if you haven't seen this, definitely check it out. It's well worth your time, especially around Christmas. Great music, great acting, some pretty good character development, especially for Billy. Um, so yeah, definitely if you like B horror movies, like if you genuinely like them, not just for the cheese and oh yeah the AGs and stuff like that, you genuinely like them, just like me, then I definitely check this movie out.
Yeah, this is definitely worth a watch. Whether you like it or don't, it's definitely one that's worth seeing.
Yeah,
Alright, so finals.
Make sure you do this next week, because next week we'll be talking about
Elf. This one's with Will Ferrell. And I've probably seen this as often or more than you have seen Silent Night, Deadly Night. I see this at least once a year. My mom.
I watched Silent Night, Deadly Night like 2 days ago, and it's like it was my second time watching it. So.
Oh, okay. Well.
I didn't even watch it that many times yet.
Well, Elf, I watch every year, whether I want to or not. No, but my mom always watches it when she wraps presents. So it was I kind of know a lot of the lines by now. And there's also this one scene where he's dancing in the mailroom, and I put that on a loop. And it's like a minute-long scene, and it actually took my mom about 15 minutes before she noticed, and he's just dancing continuously for all that time.
Yeah, I haven't seen Elf yet, so I'm definitely excited to watch that one, because I know you're a big fan of it.
Give me 1 second. I'll definitely edit this part out.
No,
All right.
It's funny as hell, mate.
But yeah, there's there are some pretty good scenes in Elf, and it should be pretty good for a podcast.
Yeah, right. Yeah, definitely can't wait to check that one out, because I know you're a big fan of it.
All right, so join us next week for Elf, and for the Christmas. I got to think of a cool name for this Christmas podcast in December. What's a cool name for Christmas movie podcast theme thing? Podmas. Okay.
Or Chris.
Chris. That sounds like a rapper from the 80s. All right. I guess that's going to do it. I'm Ron.
I'm Roger.
And this is Ron and Roger's
Dr. Pepper
Pub. There we go. That was not scripted. That was not planned. That's 100% original. You can check it. You can fact check it. And join us next week when we will be listening to and reviewing Elf. See ya.
See you guys. Now you're the one who has to stop.
Yeah, I got it going. All right, see you guys later.